Welcome to the First Pitch Podcast, brought to you by PitcherList.com, your daily morning podcast, updating you on everything you need to know to win your fantasy baseball league. Here's your host, Nick Pollock.
What is happening? Welcome to the First Pitch Podcast, your morning podcast from PitcherList.com. My name is Nick Pollock. Today is August 20th. Happy Friday. And yes, we are going to talk about baseball. Jose Urquidy and Alberto Mondesi began their rehab assignments last night. Byron Buxton is starting his tomorrow, actually today, and Zach Eflin is starting his tomorrow. Lots of rehab assignments. That's the major news, save for Freddie Peralta being placed on the IL with shoulder inflammation. He's hopeful to miss just one start now. Aaron Ashby likely is going to fill in for this. You know I love Aaron Ashby. It's against the Reds, and Ashby isn't fully stretched out yet. I'm a little cautious about this. I still encourage you to stash Aaron Ashby. If he does survive past this start, it would be the Twins and then the Cardinals. I really, really want to see Ashby stick in the rotation for the rest of the year after this. We'll see what happens, but I would be picking him up, Aaron Ashby. I don't know if I necessarily would be starting him against that Reds offense, but I think that's something you really need to be focusing on down the stretch. And lastly, Matthew Boyd will likely return next weekend from the IL. That is, they're targeting the 27th to 29th as a possible return date for Matthew Boyd, which is pretty exciting. We haven't talked about him in way too long. Hitting performances from yesterday's games, courtesy of Adam Howell. Phil Gosselin went 3 for 6 with a home run and 2 RBI. And Gosselin, I should say, oh man, this is going to be tough for me, extended his modest hit streak to 5 and his 3-hit performance with his 5th multi-hit performance in the last 9 games. Gosselin has quietly put together a solid line on the season, filling in all around the field for the Angels as they continuously deal with injuries and makes and match the personnel to plug holes as they arise, slashing .282, .336, and .398 through 235 plate appearances. And though the season-long counting stats don't jump off the page with 24 runs scored and 32 RBI, the primarily corner infielder finds himself batting in the heart of the Angels' batting order, 3rd or 4th most days, and providing him with sneaky upside in those categories as he continues to fill roles left open due to injuries and underperformances. Tyler O'Neill went 2 for 3 with a homer and 3 RBI. The hardest and longest hit ball in St. Louis belonged to Tyler O'Neill's lead-changing 3-run shot, traveling 404 feet and 111 miles per hour off the bat. O'Neill continues its hard-hitting ways with 10 of his last 15 batted ball events coming off the bat over 95 miles per hour. Sure, everyone is hitting the ball harder this season, but fewer doing it with as much consistency as O'Neill, who is now sporting a 56% hard hit rate, leading all qualified hitters across the season. And Ty France went 3 for 6 as well with a homer and 3 RBI. And in case you haven't noticed, Ty France is pretty good at baseball. His 125 WRC plus on the season is supported by 286, 357, and 443 slash through 474 plate appearances, making him one of the more difficult outs to get in the Seattle lineup. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for the rest of the batting order, whose 5th worst strikeout rate and worst team batting average in the majors has subdued France's ability to rack up counting stats regardless of his prime line-up position. The 3-hit performance Thursday gives him 8 multi-hit games in the month of August, though only 5 of those games have resulted in an RBI or run scored. Reliever update is also by Adam Howell. Happy Adam Howell Day. Texas's Joe Barlow picked up his first loss of the season, and after pitching a perfect 1-2-3 10th inning to preserve the tie score, Barlow returned for the top of the 11th and allowed a 2-run shot to, what do you know, Ty France, before retiring the final 2 batters of the inning. Paul Sewald was the beneficiary as he was just the last man up for Seattle, collecting his 6th save of the season, and Sewald needed just 9 pitches to get through his scoreless inning of work, as he has now seen action in 3 straight days. Drew Steckenrider should get the ball in the 9th if a save situation arises on Friday. The Dodgers utilized 7 members of their bullpen on Thursday, and 6 of them walked away with the decisions that combined for 6 hits, 0 walks, and just 1 earned run through the full 9-inning affair. As the first man up after Corey Knebel acted as the opener, Evan Phillips earned the win, while Victor Gonzalez, Phil Bickford, Bruiser Gratterall, and Alex Vesia each walked away with a hold after their scoreless outings. Blake trying to finish things off for his 4th save of the season, with Kenley Jansen still resting after throwing combined 35 pitches between his previous 2 outings earlier in the week. But expect Jansen to be available Friday if needed. And the Tigers asked Michael Fulmer to hold on to their 1-run lead in the 8th inning of their slugfest with the Angels on Thursday. Unfortunately, Fulmer was not up to the task, allowing 3 runs to score off of 3 hits, including a Max Stassi dart that barely cleared the left field fence. Austin Warren came in and pitched the clean bottom half of the inning for the Angels after his offense added an additional run in the top of the 9th, and manager Joe Madden decided to leave Warren in for the final frame. Warren went on to pitch another perfect inning and recorded his first save of the season. Raisel Iglesias should be out there on Friday for the Angels if needed. Starting pitching performances from yesterday's games, not many pitchers to talk about, led with Mason Saunders, a.k.a. Madison Bumgarner, 8 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 23% CSW. Fastball, cutter were both underneath that. His curveball brought it up. It's hard for me to really buy into Bumgarner right now. It's under 90 miles per hour. It's like 89.7. But when he had success earlier this season, it was 91, 92. I've said this so many times. It's a Vargas rule. Just keep starting Bumgarner, I guess, for now. It's really a tease, the end of an ERA, right? This isn't going to last, but let's hope it does. He's got, like 6 weeks left? You got this, Bumgarner. Come on, don't let us down now. Shane McClanahan against the Orioles. The Orioles are better against lefties. Does not matter. He got the win. 5 innings, 1 earned run, 5 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 16 whiffs, 41% CSW, and only 79 pitches. The Rays could have let him go longer, but they didn't need to. And he got good 5 innings. Great. It's not a situation where they say, no, we are going to absolutely baby you. It's fine. You got 5 innings. You did everything you needed in that time. If you're going to call it the start lead, then fine. I'm sorry. But you got 8 strikeouts. You got wonderful ratios. You got the win. You should be so stoked about Shane McClanahan. Luis Garcia against the Royals, 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, 3 Ks. His cutter was great, but everything else was not. He actually had a good slider. He just didn't throw it enough. He went with fastballs and changeups and curveballs instead, and those weren't as good. I don't know why he didn't throw as many sliders. It was weird. I don't really expect Garcia to not do well moving forward. I mean, he's really good. He's got an amazing slider and cutter. And that's great. And I will say, his changeup was really his best pitch coming up, too. So I have no worry whatsoever about Luis Garcia. Same actually with Taijuan Walker, who went against the Dodgers. 4 earned runs, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. The fastball velocity was over 95. This is new, actually. If you remember in the beginning of the year, I had a terrible SP Roundup, a title called Speed Walker. And that was because he was throwing 94 and change instead of 93 and change. And that was really exciting. Now he's at 95. There isn't much else in the repertoire working. Maybe the splitter a bit last night, but I'm encouraged by this with Walker. Now he might get the Dodgers again, and I don't know if I'm necessarily going to start him for that. The ratios were fine, but I mean, 4 earned runs, and that's kind of typical against the Dodgers. Be careful with Walker, but at least there is something that is encouraging here. It might be the Giants. I got to remember exactly this. I apologize. I should have that, and I don't. But either way, it is a risky start for Walker moving forward. Just a little bit more encouraging because it's over 95 on that fastball still. The last 2 here are just aces that somehow weren't aces yesterday. They both allowed 6 earned runs. That's Zach Wheeler and Brandon Woodruff. Wheeler did it in the 7th. He allowed 5 earned runs in that 7th inning. Absolutely crazy. It just fell apart. Philly's defense isn't great, but really it just didn't work out. Otherwise, I mean, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. Wheeler is still dope, and so is Brandon Woodruff. Woodruff just had an off day. He had 5 innings, of course, 6 earned runs, but 8 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Against the Cardinals, too. Nothing really for me to say, oh, okay, this is actually a downfall of Woodruff coming down. Not at all. I think he's totally fine. All right, moving forward to today, here's Mark with the weather.
Thanks, Nick. Well, like we talked about yesterday, we seem to be going in crazy busy periods and then crazy quiet periods. Well, today continues the quiet period. Nothing more than a shower or sprinkle in places like New York, which hosts the Twins, the Red Sox, which hosts they're playing the Rangers, Texas Rangers, in Baltimore, which are hosting the Braves. Now, people that are interested in the weather, we can look ahead, and the weather is going to get busier, and this is because of the tropics. Henri, which I know it's a strong tropical storm or a weak hurricane, I forget which right now, is going to threaten Boston later this weekend and could impact Texas at Boston. So that's something to keep an eye on if you're a weather weenie like me. But besides that, in the meantime, enjoy baseball. Have a good one.
Thanks, Mark. If you checked out the streaming pitchers article from yesterday, I do that, of course, every single morning on the site. It comes out at 10:40 on the weekdays. It's exactly the same today. Nothing has changed. So if you read that article yesterday, because I do today and tomorrow's, well, you will have gotten a leg up on this podcast because it's all there on the site for you. Walker Buehler, Robbie Ray, Chris Sale, Lucas Giolito, Lance McCullers, and Max Fried. Yeah, those are all starts I'm obviously making today. Yes, even Giolito against the Rays. I know he wasn't at his best before, but yeah, he should be fine against the Rays. One of the changeup or slider will return. They both weren't there last time. That's very odd for him. He'll have both, or one at the very least. In the second tier, Alex Wood, Sonny Gray, Blake Snell, Austin Gomber. A lot of just y'all should be good. I don't know if you will be good, right? Alex Wood's stuff has been there. Just we haven't gotten quite the results that we wanted there. Sonny Gray has not had any of his stuff, but it's the Marlins. So, yeah, this is the time when you're supposed to get at least your slider or curveball back. Like, please do that, Sonny Gray. Snake Blell. Oh, man, I should call him that moving forward. Blake Snell against the Phillies. I hope he's just throwing fastballs in the zone, doing the Robbie Ray blueprint of just get heaters over the plate and then do about 20% or 25% sliders. That should work, honestly. Hopefully that does against the Phillies. And then Austin Gomber is hosting the Diamondbacks. I feel good about where he's at with his repertoire. He should be able to be okay there. In the questionable start tier, I'm really leaning into the questionable part these days of this third tier because it's James Kaprielian who's going against the Giants and has not looked the same. You have Yusei Kikuchi against the Astros. Ooh, that's a tough call. Eliezer Hernandez in Cincinnati. Yikes. That's, oof. I don't know if I want to do that one. He had a good Sunday outing. Wasn't at his very best with the slider and changeup. I don't know if I really want to go with that. Jaime Barria against Cleveland is my stream pick of the day. That is a very interesting one. It is in Cleveland, and Barria does have enough stuff in there to go 5 or 6 of production for you. Nestor Cortez, Brad Keller, and Zach Davies round this out. Cortez gets the Twins, and he's been on a hot streak. Keller is going against the Cubs in Wrigley, and that seems pretty dang interesting. And Zach Davies is on the other side of that against the Royals. One of those two should work out. In the final tier, you have Carlos Carrasco, who just does not have his changeup or slider right now, and he goes against the Dodgers. I'm just terrified of that. Brett Anderson could muster out something against the Nationals, but man, that ceiling is so low, and he needs to be at his peak for you to get anything in production. Patrick Corbin, Miles Mikolas. Corbin, I really want to do well. I know the stuff is there, just hasn't showed up, so fine. We'll just wait until that shows up. Well, Mikolas is returning. We haven't seen him in a long time. I'm very curious to see what we get against the Pirates, but yeah, that is a very clear still ill. Tyler Gilbert just threw a no-hitter, and he goes into Coors, so we're not doing that. And then we have the very typical names. Yeah, Charlie Barnes, Mitch Keller, Dane Dunning, Tyler Alexander, Michael Wacha, Sam Hedges, and Keegan Aiken. And of course, almost no-hitter himself, Matt Moore, but he goes against the Padres. And yeah, there's a lot of things there. Clearly, you are not starting at all. But all right, that's going to do it for today's edition of the First Pitch Podcast. Enjoy Alex Fast over the weekend. I wish you guys the best of luck. We're getting close to your playoffs. I hope you can make it. And of course, I meant to mention this at the beginning, but we are still looking for 2 graphic designers, one just to help develop merch with us, one to help out with the article side of the site. If you are a graphic designer and you would love to join the Pitcherlist team, send us a line at info@pitcherlist.com. You can check out the whole job description at pitcherlist.com/hiring. But we look forward to meeting you. And that's going to do it for today. So my name is Nick Pollock, and that is everything you need to know.
This has been the First Pitch Podcast, brought to you by PitcherList.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, rate us on iTunes, follow us on Twitter @PitcherList, and help support what we do by joining our Discord with PitcherList Plus at PitcherList.com/plus.